professor and thought leader when it comes to artificial intelligence and automation. He has received multiple awards and is regularly ranked as one of the top 10 global AI and automation experts. Decision intelligence, cutting-edge technologies to boost business decisions. Welcome virtually on the stage, Pascal Bornet, Chief Data Officer from Aera Technology, and I hope you will be with us in a second. Let's check here. Oh, you're right on the other side. I didn't expect that. Pascal, pleasure to see you. Then I leave stage and the stage is yours.
Thank you.
The highest impact you can expect. Welcome to the world of decision intelligence. We all have the same issue with decisions. We all have problems, but most people don't even know it. When asked this question, most people have hard time deciding whether or not they have issues with their decisions. And it is a pick. It's very ironic, basically. Believe it or not, these cubes are not moving. How does it work and why is it important? So basically, your eyes actually have very little to do with what you see. It's your brain that plays the key role in creating these images. So indeed, it is really difficult for your brain to interpret everything at once. So it has to take shortcuts. So as a result, it gives you a simplified version of what you see, and so that you can have a quicker reaction time and adapt to your environment. So the same shortcuts happen when we make decisions in our work. For example, decisions about how many raw materials should we need to buy. Should we pay this invoice, or should we hire this person or another person? For decades, technology has tried to support us in our decision making by providing always more accurate information and predictions. So think of business intelligence, AI, machine learning. But this has only increased the issue because our brain has to deal with more data. But rest assured, now technology is able to bring us to the next level, to decision augmentation, decision automation. And this presentation is all about that. Now, why is it important? Because we want to avoid the bad decisions, the decisions that lead to the wrong outcomes. So let's take this example on this slide. These pears were grown in Argentina. They were packed in Thailand and then consumed in the US. Well, if someone wonders how climate crisis and decision making are related, here is the answer in one picture. How companies are currently doing with that decision. On the one hand, according to McKinsey, an S&P 500 company currently loses an average of 250 million per year in ineffective decision making. On the other hand, according to Signal, companies could unleash more than 4 trillion per year by leveraging technology to support their decisions. So why the dilemma? Based on my research, two main causes. trying to click on the next slide. So two key issues. One is our human nature, and the second one is the environment. So let us start with the issues due to our human nature. And to begin with, let's start with the test. Seems we have a bit of lag. Okay, this is the test. In which direction does this train move? So you can take 2 seconds. Ask your brain to make the train go forward. And now take 2 seconds and now ask your brain to make it go backwards. And you can see it works. I mean, it's crazy how we can influence our brain with our thoughts. And our decision making can be influenced the same way. Well, what are the key issues we face when we make decisions? Lack of information, sometimes the opposite, too much information, lack of time, our emotions, overconfidence, the lack of experience. According to recent research, 70% of the people say they often use gut feeling in making decisions, especially in their business decisions. Another consequence is that most people admit that they first make their decisions and then they conduct the analysis to support their decision. Or even worse, they cherry pick the data to justify their initial decision. So another fact is that 40% of the people admit discounting existing analysis that contradicts their own decisions. So we call these consequences cognitive biases. So cherry picking is the confirmation bias, and discounting existing analysis is called the discounting bias. And guess what? According to research, we have more than 180 cognitive biases. And they are all part of our unconscious mind. So our brain, that is more than 100,000 years old, that hasn't much evolved since then, when our caveman ancestors were facing a lion, they had better make a decision quickly. Either they fight, either they flee, or they freeze. So biases help our brain to make sense quickly of the world around us and make quick decisions. This is to save our lives and save our life of our species. So let's take a look at a few different biases that we have in our daily life. Let's start with the bias of overconfidence. So try to answer this question in less than 5 seconds. A bat and a ball costs $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. What is the cost of the ball? So a number comes to your mind. The number, of course, is 10 cents. The distinctive mark of this is that it evokes an answer that is intuitive, appealing, but that is wrong. So do the math, and you'll see if the ball costs 10 cents, then the total cost would be $1.20. So 10 cents for the ball and $1.10 for the bat, not $1.10. So taking shortcuts, skipping the fact that it is $1 more. I mean, the more is a very important word here. So the correct answer is 5 cents. So no worries, you're not the only one to make the mistake. I did it. And thousands of students from MIT, Harvard, and Princeton were put to the quiz, and it turned out that 50% of them responded the incorrect answer. So let's move to another example, the confirmation bias. It puts our pre-existing beliefs first while ignoring everything that clashes with them. So give this riddle a go. A father and a son are in a car crash and they are rushed to the hospital. the boy is taken to the operating room and the surgeon says, I can't operate this boy because he's my son. So can you provide a reason for this scenario? The father died already, and when taken to the surgeon says he's my son. If you're struggling, confirmation bias has clouded your reasoning, and you were searching for a solution to a problem that you already deemed wrong. If you guessed that the surgeon could be the boy's mother, congratulations, you passed the confirmation bias test. Let's move now to the second cause of bad decision making, which is our environment. The demand for decision generated by technology is growing. It is boosted by the increasing amount of data, the increasing processing, and the tech advancements, and a faster economic pace. For example, we all want our Amazon deliveries to be delivered as soon as possible. A few years, a week to come. Nowadays, thanks to technologies, it has to be delivered within the next 24 hours, or you just choose another product. Now, think about what happens in the background. So this person who manages the inventory of this product that you buy on Amazon used to make one supply decision every week. Now it has to be done on a daily, sometimes an hourly basis. And the number of products sold on Amazon has been multiplied by 100 in the last 5 years. So our human capabilities on the other side are linear. The only thing we can do to increase them is to hire more people. The more time flies and the less our human capabilities will be able to cope with the exponential pace of technology. So basically, we are asking our brains, which are 100,000 years old, to cope with technology that is just a few decades old or even younger. It's asking an ant to run faster than Usain Bolt. And recent surveys confirm the facts. According to Gartner, 2/3 of executives think the decisions they make are more complex than 2 years ago. So this is how today we deal with decisions. Sorry, I have a bit of lag in my clicking. Next slide. So this is how today we try to deal with our decisions. We have our daily dose of Excel, emails, Slack, reports, and more. I mean, the figures you can see on this slide are based on actual research. This is how and what a worker does on a daily basis. To solve these issues, 5 rules. The first rule is be aware of your own biases. So we can't suppress our biases. They are part of our human nature. And they are useful. I mean, basically, they help us fight against stress and anxiety. The second point about biases and how to overcome them is not to learn all of them by heart. I mean, remember that we have more than 180 biases, but at least to read once all of them so that you have them in mind and you know how to avoid the potential traps and avoid into them. The second rule is don't confuse good decision and good outcome. So luck impacts the outcome of all our decisions. Hence, the way we make decisions is the only way we can control our decisions. Okay, the way we make our decisions is the only way we can control our decisions and we can improve them. So it is by carefully rethinking the way we make decisions that we can reliably and sustainably impact of those decisions. Rule number 3, clear goals and appropriate governance. So motivations and goals are necessary for decision making. This has been proven by neuroscience. No goals, no decision. Intrinsic motivations are always best and preferred to extrinsic motivations. Collective performance indicators are always preferred to individual ones because they ensure the consistency of decisions and outcome in an organization. And finally, on this point, authority to make decisions should be given to the people that are the closest to the point of decision, okay, increasing the reactivity and the learning from that decision. Rule number 4, measure, monitor, and learn from decision making to improve it. So if what gets measured gets managed and what gets managed gets improved, so then it's no wonder that the process is most companies now is slow, frustrating, and stuck in the past. The fact is you must measure decision making to improve it. Rule number 5, leverage decision intelligence technology. First of all, in order to support and digitize and augment and monitor your decisions in a world where increasing amount of business processes are supported by technology, the same should be for our decision. And finally, leverage technology to support all those 4 rules that I gave you before this one. Let's talk about decisions because it's a key solution to our issue. Gartner coined decision intelligence in October last year. So that's a very new topic. It's one of the 12 tech trends of 2022. Decisions is born from 2 key current technology trends. On one side, the process-focused technologies. Sorry, I have some issues with my clicker. I'm sorry, I have some issues with my clicker and I'm trying to reconnect. Okay, it doesn't work, huh? If you're listening to me at the technical side. The slide is beginning to build. So decision intelligence is born from 2 key current technology trends. On one side, as you can see on the left-hand side, those technologies that we call process-focused technologies. So they started with of tasks, leveraging spreadsheets, and then came the automation of processes, leveraging robotic process automation. I'm sure most of you heard about RPA. On the other side, on the right side of this slide, the data-focused technologies, starting with analytics, statistics, trends based on past events. Machine learning with the prediction of future activities. And at the crossroads of those 2 is born decision intelligence that is leveraging process and data-focused technologies. So making a decision, we leverage those 4 boxes that are basically 4 capabilities that you can see on this slide. The benefits of using decision intelligence are huge. It improves business efficiency by 20 to 60%. And this is available across function and across industries. And this is not a nice to have. During these periods of COVID, for example, we've seen that only the companies that are digitalized and automated have been able to survive and thrive. Second, on average, decision intelligence enables a 50% increase in customer satisfaction by providing better products and services faster and cheaper, so basically driving revenue growth. Third, it significantly enhances employee experience by automating or eliminating 60% of the repetitive and transactional tasks. So leaving the value add and exciting tasks to the people, such as focusing on strategy, relationship, or creativity. Finally, it has the potential to save 10 plus million lives per year by supporting research, clinical trials, disease diagnosis, and patient support. So it can also double our budget for health and for education by avoiding the money currently lost to fraud and mistakes or accidents. Decision intelligence involves three modes of decisions. The first mode is decision support. So basically, technology provides data to support decision making, and human makes the decision at the end of the day. The second is augmentation, where technology provides recommendation for decision, and humans select the best recommendation and make the decision. And finally, automation, where the machine makes the decision autonomously, and this under the control of humans. So let's give an example of those three modes. Let's compare this in the context of driving. First one is decision support. So basically, humans make decisions using warnings of delays on the road provided by machine. In the center, decision. Google Maps tells you that there are different itineraries that you can use to reach your destination. So the technology basically recommends you a few itineraries and you choose your preferred one. And finally, decision automation, where the Tesla self-driving car autonomously brings you from point A to point B without you being even involved into the decision. Now, where can we apply decision intelligence? And the answer is very simple: across industries and across functions. Function level, as you see here, all can benefit from decision intelligence. Dark blue are basically automated decisions. Lighter blue, augmented, light blue are supported. So for example, in human resources, decision intelligence can help you take decisions such as which HR strategy should we implement, or which competencies should we look for today or in the future. Decisions could be how many raw materials should we buy, from which vendor, and when should we buy them. In finance, what are my costs, what are drivers, which clients should I accept. Now, how do you identify which decision should be supported, augmented, or automated? So to explain this, I need to introduce you to the decision matrix. The approach is quite straightforward. First, collect the key decisions made in your company. Then qualify them. Of course, you don't need to collect the hundreds of decisions that you make on a daily basis. You just focus on a few key ones. So basically, in my key ones, the key decisions are the decisions that are directly linked to the strategic objective of your business. Once you've collected them, qualify these decisions by estimating two things: their level of simplicity, as you can see on the vertical axis of this slide. You estimate the number of variables, you identify the relationship between the cause and effect. And second, as you can see on the horizontal axis of this slide, what is the frequency of those decisions? And this refers to the number of times the decision is taken, for example. Next step, you estimate the cumulated impact, business impact of those decisions. It's a dollar amount basically, and it is represented on this slide by the size of the bubble. The bigger the size of the bubble, the higher the value generated by the decision. Let's look at each of those different types of decision. Those decisions that are supported are forward-looking decisions. They are those decisions that are made at a low frequency, that bear high complexity, such as what should be my strategy? How should we optimize a supply chain network, for example? The capacity, as you can see on this slide, the capacity to present the information to enable decision making is critical for decision mode. And we can make here the comparison between driving a company and driving a spacecraft. At the top here is about driving a spacecraft. At the bottom is about driving a company. And those dashboards, as you can see, have evolved in time. So back in the 60s, the dashboards used to be very complex, presenting too much information, leading to the large effort of digesting, synthesizing the information to finally make a decision. And as you can see on more towards the right side of the slide, we can see how the standards have evolved over the past years, focusing only on the information that is needed, leveraging user-friendly screens to connect better with the user and providing the capacity for the user to interact with those figures. Let's move now to decision augmentation. So decision is for what we call adaptive decisions. So basically, we usually augment the decisions that are made at a medium to high frequency with a medium to high complexity. So it's decisions that are risky or sensitive and that require human supervision. So for example, the decisions to adjust safety stock levels, to source material from different suppliers. In a decision augmentation, the machine provides you with the recommendation for decision. So an example of this. So imagine your computer and you receive this window that is generated by your computer, which is basically a recommendation for decision. And let's take this recommendation to buy 2,000 products from vendor Co before the 25th of September. And as you can see on this decision, the machine provides as well with an estimate of this decision. So, and from this, you can either accept it. If you accept it, automatically the machine will execute the action to execute the decision. If you amend or reject it, the machine will learn so that next time it provides you with a better recommendation for this. You can see on this slide, decision augmentation works very well when it builds trust over time. When you receive this window, you might wonder, okay, but I want to understand why is this decision recommended. So the best way to build trust is for, as you've seen on the previous slide, to provide you with the explanation and the rationale of this proposition for decision. And finally, here's slide, decision automation. Decision automation is it is highly responsive. The decisions to automate are the ones that are made at a high frequency with a low to medium complexity. So basically, it includes the one also that require high speed. So think of delayed shipment, decisions of rebalancing inventories between locations, decisions of sourcing material from different suppliers. So now that we understand well the three different modes of decision and how to apply them, let us understand how we can implement them into a technology platform. So first, an ideal decision intelligent platform integrates the three modes into one system. So thanks to these synergies between these modes. Second, for each of these modes, a decision intelligent platform connects the data used as an input to build the decision. Then the decisions that are made, whether by a machine or by a human, then the actions implemented to execute the decision, and then the business impact. For example, basically the dollar amount thanks to the decision. And finally, the data of the historical data of these four steps are collected and stored as a memory of the decisions you've made, enabling the system to learn and to improve by itself. This is, on this slide, you can see now an end-to-end look at the flow that is generated decision in a decision intelligent platform. So the decision intelligent platform starts with integrated data, integrating data from different internal, external, and this data can come from ERPs, planning systems, sensors. The data is then stored, harmonized, and structured, making it ready for processing decision making. So it's very different from a data lake. It stores data, grouping them, and preparing them for decision making. And this data is then processed to build the decision by leveraging machine learning, automation, and other statistical methods. The outcome is data processing is the generation of a recommended decision, as you can see on the square, the same that we've seen before. If accepted, these decisions are executed automatically by the machine using automated processes. And when it becomes available, the business impact of this decision is then collected and stored. And it is then used to teach the system to improve decision recommendation accuracy, and by closing the gap between it and the actual impact of those decisions. So from individual experiences and knowledge to connected collective insights. So we used to have decisions from anyone. Now we have decisions from everyone in a company that are stored together, including for each of the decisions, the data that is used as an input, the execution steps, the business impact. So with all these, the system learns how to improve the accuracy and efficiency of those decisions. So as a conclusion, the decision intelligence industry's ambition can be summarized as follows: transforming from an era of making decisions supported by machine to an era of machines making decisions guided by people. So leaving the people more time and energy to focus on exciting and value-added tasks such as creativity, relationship, and critical thinking. It was a pleasure to share this presentation with you today. Sorry for the few issues with the clicks. Here are my two main references, my book, and if you want to learn more, please join all those. And I hope to see you soon, and I thank you for your time and attention.
Pascal, thank you very much, especially for reminding us that our brain is 100,000 years old and hasn't developed much in that time. But also for sharing some insight with us how we can improve at least a little bit. All the best to you and greetings to the United States. It was a pleasure to have you.